From Super League to Olympic distance to age group world records to Kona. Go longer with the right fuel at the right time with SFuels.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Breakfast with Bob from St. George, Utah. My name is Bob Babbitt, brought to you by Master Spa, Zoot Sports, the original triathlon brand, HOKA, Let's Fly, SFuels, Go Longer, Biostarks.com, the code BWB10. Use that for 10% discount. Quintanaroo, Form Smart Swim Goggles, Zion's Bank, Premium Plus Sports, and, of course, our Challenge Athletes Foundation. Our next guest coming off of a win at Challenge Walshy and a fifth place at the PTO Canadian Open. Mr. Fred Funk joins us. Fred, how you doing?
Hi, Bob. I'm good. Thank
Wonderful.
you.
Now, do you like St. George? Have you been here before?
I was racing here last year at the World Champs.
Yes.
And after a pretty bad race or DNF, I actually, I would say I didn't like it as much.
Have you been out here training a little bit this time?
I was training the last month in Utah, but north of Utah in Park City in Altitude.
Yes.
So I was preparing there, and now I'm here since Saturday.
So you're all in on this race.
Definitely. And to be honest, I was actually never as focused like on one race, like not just from training, but also like mentally, I would say.
Yes. And your history in the sport of triathlon goes back to mom and dad.
Yeah.
And they got you into the sport. How old were you?
My first triathlon I did with when I was 5 years old. Yeah.
Wow. It's funny, we were just talking to Taylor Nibb, and same type of thing. Mom was into the sport. Dad was into the sport. So from a young age, did you like it, or did you feel like, mom and dad are sort of making me do this?
Actually, yeah, I didn't like it at all. I mean, now I'm when I'm looking back, I'm really happy. My parents, I wouldn't say forced me, but they just like pushed me that I'm just moving overall. I was mostly playing soccer.
Mm-hmm.
That was my big passion as a kid. And I always wanted to be a professional athlete. Just in the beginning, my goal was to be a professional athlete in soccer. And later on, when I did some triathlon, got some success. I got more motivated there. And just when I was like 13, 14 years old, I just started to completely focus on triathlon.
So you had a couple big wins, Challenge Walshy, but also Zell.
Yeah.
That was a great race for you. You won by 44 seconds. You're 141 down after the swim. You had a 2:04 lead, so you had a great bike ride there.
Yeah, it was really a good race. This definitely also gives me a lot of confidence going into this race.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there was still the Dallas PTO Open between that, but I had a really bad day there, so I just kind of tried to forget that.
Right.
And take the win at Zell as a motivation for this race.
Well, and you ran 113 at Zell.
And it's a pretty tough course.
That's a tough course to run a 113. I know. And could you feel him? It was Gregory coming back at 44 seconds, so he must have had a good run too.
Yeah, definitely. I made an attack with 30K to go on the bike. Just rode about 2 minutes lead to that pack of three guys,
mm-hmm.
and Gregory was running the fastest. I knew that from a race before that he's probably running quicker than me, so I definitely had to get away on a bike.
Yes.
Obviously. But it worked out pretty well, and he closed the gap pretty fast in the first 10K, but I always know that my strength is actually the second half of the half marathon, especially when I'm riding really hard. I can't start the run so fast. And from 10K to go, I just kept the lead. And later on, he actually got disqualified.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah, he was in a descent. He was riding over the middle line. And in the briefing, they clearly said that this is not allowed, and if they catch you, you're going to get disqualified. So, I didn't even have to stress myself that much. But
you didn't know.
Yeah,
At that point, you don't know.
I didn't know.
You got a
yeah.
guy coming back and he's less than a minute down. Yeah.
But it's always good when you leave it all out there.
So Andreas Rehlert, one of our favorite guys.
Definitely.
What was it about his style of racing that you liked watching?
I was always looking up to Andreas Rehlert. Also mostly like as a person. I mean, now I know him also personally. He's a teammate of mine, a team adding alcohol-free. And so I was also training with him already. He shared a lot of his experience, and he's a really, really humble guy. I really look up to him. And and his style of racing, of course, he kind of changed the sport a bit. Actually, especially in Germany,
yes.
I would say. And he was just, I would say, a clever racer as well, racing with his head, and a really strong guy.
Well, you got to race in 2018, your second behind Sebastian Kienle at Challenge Waldsee. That's got to be pretty cool to be racing with a legend.
Yeah, of course. It was just my second or third half distance.
Yes.
And then racing against Sebastian Kienle, like one of the best in the world. As a young guy, and then you can just see where you stand compared to one of the best in the world, and then getting second there, that was pretty cool and pretty motivating.
So 2016 German junior champion, and then 18 middle distance champion. Was the goal early on the Olympics, or was it always a longer distance?
No, it was actually the Olympics, but I realized quite early that my strength is the bike, and was doing then some non-drafting races, and was always like at least on a podium there on every race I did, and obviously that's more motivating than getting 10th, 15th on a Continental Cup ITU racing. So I thought, why not? Let's give it a go on the half distance. This way I can also earn my living in the sport, which would be definitely tougher on the Olympic distance ITU circuit. So I definitely don't regret this decision to change early to the half distance.
Well, and this year, when you look at between winning Zell and Waldsee, and then a second, a fifth at the Canadian Open, and people look at a fifth place, but fifth place in a U.S. Open or Canadian Open is a big deal because it's like $35,000. I mean, that's like double what you win for a lot of races.
Yeah, like I said to you before the interview, for the same money I have to win here because second place is already less than 35K, I think.
Yes, yes, right.
So, and winning a world championship, of course, that's pretty tough. And then it's definitely great what the PTO is doing for our sport. It really makes it easier for us. And obviously, we also talked about that before the Canadian Open interview.
Yes.
Of course, I'm not doing it for the money. It's definitely good they have it, and it brings all the best to the line. But the good thing is that you have more opportunities over the year, just racing the best in the world, and this in the stacked field, and not only the 70.3 World Championship like in the last years.
When you're also on, when you're talking Collins Cup. You're in your team.
Yeah.
Team Europe is loaded, right?
Yeah,
All
true.
the best triathletes in the world. Just if you make that team, that's a big deal.
Yeah, if you make the team, you actually have to be definitely top 10 in the world in
No
the
question.
ranking. So, I mean, I was 2 times reserve for Team Europe at Collins Cup, which is of course not what I aim for, but. It's just kind of tough, and I just hope to make the team in the next years.
So you were racing, and I forget what race it was, a 70.3 race, a multiple loop run course, and your dad was out there. And that was going to be your first 70.3 win, and there was a point on the course, multiple loop on a run, where you passed Dad. And you got to tell your dad, hey, I'm about to win the race.
Yeah, it was just like really, I was in my last lap, end of the last lap, and there was like a finish stretch where it was 500 meter, and just before he turned right into his, I don't know, what was it?
Second lap.
Third lap. I could still catch him and tell him, I'm going to win the race, and then yeah, of course, it was pretty motivating for him as well. And he even, I think, won his age group as well. Yeah.
He won his age group, and you won the race.
Yeah, we both qualified there for the 70.3 Worlds, which was actually for Taupo, New Zealand in 2020.
Yes, which ended up being here.
Genau, exactly. And
so did your dad race last year here?
Yeah, last year we both raced here, but
did he do better than you did?
Definitely, because I didn't finish the race. He finished at least.
He beat you.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So your dad has to be so excited that something he got you into has become your passion as well.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm sure my parents are pretty proud of it.
Very cool. And what after this, is the season over?
Yes, that's going to be my last race of the season. Finally.
Yeah, it's a long season.
It's definitely a long season, especially with all those big races. It's also tough mentally.
So is the goal to, because this year 70.3, is the goal to do more fulls or stay with? Have you done a full yet?
Not yet, no.
Smart man. I mean, what's cool about the sport right now, you could be a Super League athlete. You could be a WTS Olympic athlete. You could be a 70.3 specialist. You can be doing the full.
Yeah.
You don't really have to, because with 70.3 in PTO Collins Cup events, you could be good and not even have to go do long.
Yeah, especially now with the PTO. I mean, next year we're going to have like 4 of these
the opens
all
plus
over
Collins Cup
all over the 100K distance. And so for next year my goal is to focus on that 100%.
Yes.
And yeah, training for full, I would definitely have to skip 1 or 2. So yeah, I'm really motivated by that, and just gonna focus on that for a while yet.
So this is the first time you have had a full focus where you've taken a month or over a month to come to the area, to be at altitude, to really focus, right, totally on this race. What have you come away with from, because obviously you've seen a lot of the course, but you've also been at Park City at higher altitude. It's tough to do that, to commit, because you could have gone to races. But instead, it's like, okay, I'm going to see what happens when I commit fully. Are you happy with the results so far?
I mean, it's not the first time I'm doing it training-wise. Obviously, it's always good to have a good block before a big race.
Yes.
But kind of mentally, after Dallas, it kind of switched, and I really want to prove myself that I'm capable of something big. Mm-hmm. And my goal for the weekend is definitely to surprise myself as well out there, and get Canadian Open with my 5th place.
That was a huge performance.
Yeah, I proved that I belong there, like to the world's best on a big race. I mean, I've won a lot of 70.3 races now. We have good athletes as well, but obviously the goal is to win one of those, like 70.3 Worlds or the PTO Opens. And yeah, I don't want to say I want to win on a weekend, but I definitely want to make my make my stamp on the race, and definitely go for the win as long as I can. And I'm in a good shape. I hope I will get this famous altitude boost from the camp there, and I'm pretty optimistic about it.
We've had Jan Frodeno be an Ironman 70.3 world champion, Sebastian Kienle, Michael Raylert. We've had, when you look at, I think there's only been 15 Ironman 70.3 World Championship races. So if you look at that, Germans have had great success in those races. So you see yourself, what would it be like to come down this street behind us, winning this race and winning a world title?
It would be like such a relief, I would say, for, everyone is working hard. And I really like what Chelsea Sodaro said after an interview with the PTO after winning Kona.
Yeah.
That everyone is working hard, but not everyone is getting their moment. Right. And I just really hope to get my moment sooner or later.
I love it. Freddy, thank you so much for taking time. Always such a treat to get to chat with you, man. Have the best race ever.
Thanks. Pleasure's mine, Bob.
All right. Fred Funk has been our guest, everybody. Again, Breakfast with Bob from beautiful St. George, Utah. Hold on. We will be right